Sums, differences, products, and quotients of functions. These are pretty intuitive definitions. It's kind of what you might think you would do if you had to guess and nobody ever told you. If you see that they want you to take f plus g of x, what that means is we're going to take whatever f of x is and add it to g of x. So we write that mathematically as f of x plus g of x. If it says f minus g of x, well, we're going to figure out f of x, we're going to figure out g of x, and then we're going to subtract the two. So f of x minus g of x. Same thing if there's no symbol between f and g are two functions, that it would indicate multiplication. So we'd figure out f of x, we'd figure out g of x, and then we'd multiply the results. If it's f slash g, if it's written horizontally, then that would indicate division. So we would take f of x divided by g of x. This one we have to be a little bit careful of because we have to make sure that g of x is not going to be equal to 0. We don't want our functions to be undefined. Let's take a quick look at a few examples. If we have f of x is this 3x squared plus 1, g of x is this linear function 4x minus 5. If they ask us to find f plus g of 6, okay, what that means is I'm going to figure out f of 6, plug it in the first one, and g of 6, and then because this is an add symbol here, I'm going to add those two results. I strongly encourage you to go ahead and put brackets around your individual parts so that you don't miss any sign changes that might happen. So f of 6 means I'm going to take the 6 and plug it into that first function, 3 times 6 squared plus 1. G of 6, we're going to put 6 into the second one, so 4 times 6 minus 5. Simplifying the first one, we get 109. The second one, we get 19. We're told to add f plus g, so we add our answers there and get 128. Similarly, for subtracting, you would do f of negative a half. We plug the negative and half in here, minus, again, I'm using these brackets to separate my two parts, and I'm going to put the negative 1/2 into the g function, 4 times the negative 1/2 minus 5. If you simplify this first part, and you can use your calculator to do that, you get 7/4. The second part, simplify, you get a negative 7. Now it's minus that negative 7, so these two minuses are going to really be a plus. So let me show you on the calculator real quickly. You could have done this all in one step. I can do a parenthesis and 3 times, and then my negative 1/2, also in parentheses, squared, plus 1. Okay, close that up, and then minus, and another parenthesis for the second part, 4 times the negative 1/2, and I don't have to put it in parentheses this time because I'm just multiplying by the negative 1/2, and then minus 5, and close that up. And there's our answer. You're like, well, that's not what you have written there. If I go to math and say chain the answer to a fraction, I get the 35/4. All right, so the last thing here, fg of 0, that's saying plug 0 into the first function, plug 0 into the second function, and then multiply your results. So the first one we get a 1, second one we get negative 5. When you multiply, you get negative 5. And then the very last one, if I can scroll down here, is a division problem. F slash g, so that means f on top of g. So you plug the negative 3 into the f rule, the negative 3 into the g rule, put that in the denominator, simplify each part, and then, well, it doesn't reduce at all, but I know a positive divided by negative is negative, so I make my answer negative 28/17.